Friends, today's story is emotional, romantic, and deeply moving. It follows the journey of a young man who has spent, not years, searching for the girl who once changed his life. After endless hope and heartbreak, he finally finds her again. Their reunion feels magical, as if destiny has brought them back together. However, as they reconnect, he begins to struggle with his own insecurities. He wonders if she truly belongs with him, or if she deserves someone far better. Despite his deep love, self-doubt clouds his heart, and he fears losing her all over again. The story beautifully explores love, destiny, and the painful emotions that come with feeling unworthy of the person you adore. It reminds us that love is not about perfection, but about acceptance and faith in one another. With heartfelt moments and emotional depth, this tale captures the beauty of rediscovering love and the courage to believe in it again. So, friends, let's begin the recap of this touching and thought-provoking story about love, doubt, and the true meaning of self-worth. It's a busy day at the clinic, and Scarlett, a veterinarian, rushes to finish her tasks before catching her train to Vermont for Christmas. Her assistant, David, is glad she's going on a break and hopes she'll also find a dream man. But Scarlett just plans to spend time with her dad. She stops by the house of Virginia. She's there to pick him up before heading to the station. Arriving in Vermont, Scarlett and Milo are warmly greeted by her father, Mitch Miller, who's also a veterinarian. After a stop to buy a Christmas tree and ornaments, they discover the shop is sold out of decorations. Back at Mitch's house, they enjoy his famous meatballs, but an emergency call interrupts. He's needed at the Jacksons' farm to help deliver a heifer in labor. However, Mitch quickly pushes the task onto her, opting to spend time with his grandson instead. This sudden switch leaves Scarlett baffled. At the farm, she faces a midlife crisis, nervously doubting herself since she hasn't delivered a calf since vet school. With renewed determination, she enters and successfully completes the delivery. Excited, she calls Mitch to update him and lets him know she'll stop by the shop before heading home. While browsing the shop, Scarlett bumps into a man, and they playfully banter over who should get the last box of cereal. The man mentions he's a medical doctor, busy with work, and really needs it. Scarlett retorts that she's a veterinary doctor, and equally needs it. Surprised to learn she's Dr. Miller's daughter, he finally agrees to let her have the cereal, but she declines, realizing the sugar content isn't worth it, and heads out. What an interesting encounter between the two. The next day, Scarlett has transformed the house with Christmas decorations, filling it with holiday spirit. Curious about the young man she met the previous day, she mentions to Mitch that she met one of his doctor friends, though she didn't catch his name, and Mitch reveals it's Josh Foster. Just then, Milo asks about their plans for the day, and Mitch explains that the shelter is holding an adoption event, so they need people to check on the animals before they go to their new homes. Mitch puts Scarlett in charge, and she happily agrees. He tries to convince her to move back to Vermont, suggesting she take over the practice when he retires. However, Scarlett feels at home in New York with Milo, and suggests Mitch move in with them instead. Mitch, though, is too rooted in Vermont to consider leaving. At the shelter, Josh spots Scarlett petting a dog and properly introduces himself, while she does the same. There's a spark between them as Josh also bends down to pet the dog before leaving. Later that evening, Mitch gets a house call to check on an adopted dog, and smartly refers Scarlett for the job. It turns out the call is for Josh. Looks like Mitch is cleverly trying to set her up with Josh. Scarlett braves the weather to reach Josh's place, only to be surprised that the dog she was petting earlier is the one she's there to check. After examining the dog, she discovers it has a tummy ache from eating a bowl of frosting. Meanwhile, back at home, Milo worries he hasn't gotten Scarlett a Christmas gift, and Mitch suggests they make something for her together. After settling the dog, Scarlett tries to leave, but Josh insists she stay due to the worsening weather. Over coffee, they chat about her experiences with clients and their dogs. Scarlett reveals she has a son, which surprises Josh, as he had assumed she was just a big city club girl. Curious about Milo's dad, Josh asks how he's adjusting to Vermont, and Scarlett shares that he passed away when Milo was 2, describing how they managed to get by despite the hardships. With the snow still falling, Josh suggests they bake a Yule log cake, and Scarlett gladly agrees. Back home, Milo and Mitch go through pictures of the frame they're making for Scarlett, with Mitch sharing fond memories. Milo comes across one of his dad's pictures, but sadly doesn't remember much about him. Mitch fills in the gaps with interesting facts, and eventually, Milo picks the perfect photo. Meanwhile, at Josh's place, as they both get creative in the kitchen, Josh reveals he's originally from New York. After his residency, he joined a 2-year program that brought him to Vermont, where he grew to love the place and eventually made it his home. Scarlett explains that she left Vermont because she didn't want to settle in one place forever and moved to New York, where she fell in love with the city and made it her home. As she talks about her Christmas traditions, Josh interrupts to wipe a bit of icing off her chin. Their close proximity creates a moment of tension as they lock eyes, but the dog, fully recovered from his tummy ache, interrupts the moment. Noticing the weather clearing, Scarlett decides to leave, and before she goes, Josh, eager to know her better, asks for her number. In the car, Scarlett receives a call from David, asking for her opinion on a client's cat. When he learns she just finished a house call and spent time with a young man, he's thrilled. The next day, while Milo and Mitch decorate the Christmas tree, Scarlett returns from her morning walk and shares fond memories with Milo about some old ornaments. Just then, Josh knocks with the dog, and Milo is instantly smitten. Josh, having listened intently when Scarlett shared her Christmas traditions, suggests an idea to make one of them a success. Josh plays the movie that Scarlett and Milo always watch on Christmas Eve, in a barn, and even brings the exact popcorn they love, which deeply touches Scarlett. As they watch the film together, the connection between Josh and Scarlett becomes undeniable. What are the odds they were in the same store, in the same aisle, at the same time? Guess it's the Vermont Christmas spirit. As the movie ends, Milo admits that watching a film in a barn was a first for them, and definitely fun, something they never did in New York. Before they leave, Mitch informs Scarlett of a house call, and she heads out. Later, after finishing her work, she gets a call from David asking if a client can do tooth whitening on a dog, which she refuses. Scarlett really has all sorts of clients. She suggests David come to Vermont for a few days, and he happily agrees. Later, while Milo and Mitch decorate presents with potato stamps, Scarlett walks in and compliments Milo's hard work. Just then, she receives a text from Josh inviting them to see the Nutcracker at the community barn the next day. Mitch, however, has an appointment and can't go, leaving it up to Milo and Scarlett. Although Milo isn't keen on ballet, Scarlett encourages him to keep an open mind and try it out because they wouldn't want to disappoint their new friend. Milo, confused by how quickly Josh became her friend, asks about it, and Scarlett explains that sometimes you just get a feeling. The next day at the community barn, Milo is unexpectedly signed up to participate in the play when Alice, in charge of the performance, mentions needing a child for a role. Excited, Milo runs backstage to get dressed, while Scarlett and Josh take their seats. Though they're separated by a couple sitting between them, their connection remains clear as they steal glances at each other throughout the performance. The play is a hit, with Milo acting perfectly and having a blast, leaving Scarlett overjoyed. Outside, Scarlett is thrilled that Milo had such a great time. But when Josh excuses himself to greet some ladies, a pang of jealousy hits her. Just then, Milo arrives with his new best friend, Vivian, and Scarlett is surprised by how quickly he's made a close friend. Milo tells her that he had the same feelings she had with Josh, just as he returns in time to overhear this, leaving Scarlett scrambling to explain what Milo really meant. Kids can really get you into trouble. Josh convinces them all to take a selfie, and just then, Alice comes by to pick up her daughter, Vivian. Upon hearing Scarlett's surname, Alice is taken aback, recalling they were high school classmates. She immediately suggests that the kids get together now that they're neighbors, but Scarlett clarifies that they don't live in Vermont and that Josh is just a friend. Milo, noticing her awkwardness, tells her she's acting weird. Kids really don't have filters. The next day, Scarlett and Milo visit Santa in Josh's workplace. Meanwhile, Josh, who's just seeing a patient, Mrs. Bix, out, gets unsolicited matchmaking advice when she learns he's single. She even suggests he should get together with Scarlett, just as she calls out to him. Mrs. Bix is definitely a character. Later, Josh plays Santa, with Milo and Vivian as his little elves, and they all have a wonderful time. Josh asks Scarlett out for Christmas Eve, but she hesitates, not wanting to keep Milo up late. Josh clarifies it's just the both of them and suggests they go after Milo's asleep, with Mitch staying with him, and Scarlett happily agrees. Just then, David arrives, and after introductions, he takes the kids for some fun activities. Milo, excited, says he enjoyed seeing Santa in Vermont more than in New York and asks if they can visit again. Scarlett promises they'll make it work. As Josh tells Scarlett the time and place for their outing, Alice arrives and informs him that Abigail, a local, has invited him over for steak later that night. After he heads off to continue his Santa duties, Alice hints that Abigail has a crush on him, coupled with most of the women in town, making Scarlett feel a bit uneasy. Later, Scarlett shares the news with David, who tells her he can see the chemistry between her and Josh. Though Scarlett feels it doesn't matter due to the distance, David reminds her of her own advice from New York to make it work. The next evening, while walking through the woods, Scarlett shares childhood memories with Josh. Although she loves New York, she feels sad that Milo won't have the same opportunity to grow up playing in the woods. Josh reassures her that life is full of surprises. He then takes her to a spot that mimics Rockefeller Center, beautifully decorated for Christmas, and Scarlett is awed. As they prepare to skate, she opens up, sharing that while it was hard to leave Mitch and move to New York, she had to do it to find herself. It was the opposite for Josh. He left New York to find his own path. They have a great time skating together, even though neither of them is particularly skilled at it. They end up in each other's arms, and the chemistry between them nearly leads to a passionate kiss. But Scarlett pulls away, telling him she can't just be another woman to him. Josh, clearly confused, explains that the women in his life are his patients, and it's her he feels connected to. However, Scarlett worries the distance between them will make it impossible to work. Josh then suggests she and Milo move back to Vermont. Josh's suggestion makes Scarlett a little angry, as she tells him she can't leave her life in New York just for a feeling, even though she acknowledges she hasn't met anyone like him and probably never will. Back at home, Scarlett finds Mitch treating a goat and joins him. They really do work perfectly together. Later, she checks on Milo, who's already tucked in. He shares that he loves it in Vermont and wishes they could stay forever. When Scarlett asks if he'd miss being a New Yorker, Milo says they'd still be the same people, just in a different place. Milo then wonders if Josh will be spending Christmas with them and admits he really likes him, which makes Scarlett admit the same. Scarlett confides in Mitch about Josh and her hesitation to move back to Vermont, feeling it might be a step backward. Mitch reassures her, reminding her of all she's accomplished. While she loves New York, she can't deny how much Milo loves Vermont, and she enjoys the time with Mitch. Still, Scarlett struggles with needing others, but Mitch explains that, after her mom passed, he realized that accepting help doesn't diminish a person. Mitch tells Scarlett that Josh really likes her and just wants to get to know her without the distance. But Scarlett feels that sometimes you can't get what you wish for. Mitch reminds her that it's Christmas and wishes can come true. Later, Scarlett sees the picture frame Milo made, sparking an emotional moment for her. On Christmas Day, she goes to see Josh but returns home when she doesn't find him. To her surprise, he's in the yard, decorating the